died. Number 5. Let's start off with Jaqen H'ghar, the mysterious faceless man who mentors Arya in Davos. His order believes death is a gift and that no one is above the many-faced god. But when Arya flat out refuses the faceless man, Jaqen just lets her walk away. By all accounts, Arya rejecting them should have meant her death. Jaqen surviving and simply smiling as she leaves makes him feel less like a deadly assassin and more like a teacher whose student just quit class. In a world where betrayal is punished, Jaqen's survival weakens the very philosophy that he represents. Jaqen H'ghar should have paid the ultimate price. Number 4. Davos Seaworth. Now don't get me wrong, Davos is one of my favorite characters in the entire series. Now let's talk just a little bit about the Onion Knight himself. His survival, nearly impossible. Let's think about it. Davos was never a trained warrior. He fought in some of the bloodiest battles, Blackwater Bay, the Battle of the Bastards, and even the Battle of Winterfell, yet somehow walked away without a scratch. Meanwhile, seasoned fighters and lords were dying all around him. On top of that, Davos constantly speaks his mind, even to people like Stannis, Jon Snow, and Daenerys. In Westeros, honesty usually gets you killed, and yet Davos not only survives, but somehow ends up on the small council under King Bran the Broken. His survival feels less like gritty realism and more like the writers protecting a fan-favorite character. Number 3. Brienne of Tarth. Brienne of Tarth is one of the purest characters in the entire show, but her survival makes little sense. She defeats the Hound in a fight that could have easily gone either way, and later she's on the front lines against impossible odds, facing the Boltons, White Walkers, and Whites. By all logic, Brienne should have fallen in battle, probably defending someone she loved. That would have cemented her as a tragic but noble figure. Instead, she survives it all and even becomes Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. While fans were happy for her, it feels more like a fairy tale ending than the harsh reality of Game of Thrones. What she should have done is die protecting Jaime Lannister, and if you didn't watch my last video on the top 5 characters that should not have died, I'll link that up above. Number 2. Bran Stark. How I don't have Bran as my number 1, I still question. He is by far one of my least favorite characters in the entire series. Him becoming the Three-Eyed Raven and doing nothing to help defeat the Night King still bothers me to this day. Now, from being pushed out of a tower, to journeys beyond the wall, to being targeted by the Night King, Bran is repeatedly placed in situations where death seemed unavoidable. And let's not forget the cave of the Three-Eyed Raven, where nearly everyone else dies, but somehow Bran makes it out alive. And remember, Bran at this point is considered a crippled. His survival not only feels forced, but it changes the entire story by placing him on the throne. If Bran had died, it would have raised the stakes and underscored the hopelessness of the war against the dead. Instead, he somehow outlives everyone and becomes king, leaving fans feeling like his story was wrapped up much too neatly. I would rather have Osha has survived than Bran the Broken. Number 1. Now before we get into who number 1 is, let me start off by saying this. I actually loved this character until Season 8, when his turn of character just didn't even make sense. And who I'm talking about? Grey Worm. From a storytelling perspective, he should have died many times. As commander of the Unsullied, Grey Worm was constantly on the front lines. Casterly Rock, Winterfell, King's Landing. Time after time, he's surrounded by complete chaos, but somehow comes out alive. Even more puzzling is what happens after Dany's death. Grey Worm built his entire identity around following her. With her gone, it would have made sense for him to either die in battle or in vengeance. Instead, Grey Worm sails off to Neth as he's retiring from a long career. His survival doesn't feel like a natural ending to his arc. It feels like the showrunners couldn't bring themselves to kill him. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to give a quick shout out to two other characters who probably should have died as well. Now, the first one, Samwell Tarly. I get it. He's a lovable character, but let's be real here. He's not even close to a warrior. He survives White Walkers, Whites, and even the Battle of Winterfell despite barely knowing how to hold a sword. His death would have pushed Jon even harder against the Night King. And why we didn't get Jon versus the Night King? Well, guys, that is a video for another day. Finally, we have Podrick Payne. So Podrick, again, another fan favorite, and I don't have as much of an issue with him surviving as I did Samwell. But again, his survival just feels completely unrealistic. He's a squire who somehow survives the Battle of Blackwater and even saves Tyrion. He survives the Siege of Winterfell and everything in between. By all rights, Podrick should have fallen protecting Brienne or Tyrion, which would have gave his story a much more emotional ending. So there you have it. These are the characters who by all logic should not have survived Game of Thrones. From Jaqen's mercy to Davos' endless luck, Brienne's plot armor to Bran's destiny, and Grey Worm's sudden retirement plan. The show definitely protected certain characters in its final stretch. But what do you think? Which character's survival made the least sense to you? Should Davos have gone down fighting? Should Bran have died in the cave? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear your takes. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on. And I'll see you guys in the next video.